Your host, Tom.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks on a Wednesday. Usually the first and third Wednesday we have Robert Colon from On Top of the World, but he was unavoidably detained last week, so he's here this week. Robert, good morning to you.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
And you brought Michelle Scheidler with you.
Did
I say that right?
Yeah.
You did.
See, I'm coachable. She's the Director of Education for Masters the Possibility at the Lifelong Learning Center. Okay, Michelle, that's a big tell us what that means.
Well, technically it's a school for adults. If you want to learn something new, you come to Master the Possibilities.
There's a bunch of big old dummies that are adults, so it's probably a pretty good thing. I may need to come to that class.
Hey, actually, can I talk a little bit about today?
Yeah, of course you can.
Today is a very exciting day for Master the Possibilities. It's actually our kickoff for our brand new catalog that comes out for July through December classes. And for people that you were just talking about, I wouldn't call them dummies, but we have more than 700 learning opportunities for them these next 6 months.
When you say learning opportunities, you know, I was a teacher, so I understand learning opportunities at the education level for high school kids. That's what I taught. What kind of educational learning situations are you talking about for adults with these classes?
Anything and everything. And just to give you, I wrote down a few just to talk about today. It's everything from art to STEM. And for people who do not know what STEM means, it's science, technology, engineering, and math. Some of you teachers do. But we have, as a good example, Robert and I were talking this morning about why would a person want to take a class as an adult. And so we were just discussing that someone might want to take a trip in the future to France. So they might want to learn French. The Master the Possibilities has classes for 7 different types of languages. We have German, French, Japanese, Latin, sign language, and Spanish. So there's a good example as why somebody would take a class at Master the Possibilities. They want to travel.
I could have used that when I went to San Miguel de Allende in the Mexican mountains. I knew cerveza, baño, and buenas tardes. That's all I had.
Those are
Good afternoon, beer, bathroom.
Well, see, you could have taken a beginning Spanish class and learned a few more words than that, just in case you needed somewhere important like the hospital.
Yeah, which I would have had no idea how to say.
See, you can.
I'd have had to take a red magic marker and just draw a red cross on a white shirt and white paper. And go. That's all I'd have had.
You need to come see Dennis.
Now, when you talk about STEM,
yes,
that's something that because it's an ever-evolving thing. Science, technology, math, it's always interchanging, especially technology. I bet you get a lot of people who are not tech savvy that come to take those classes to try to get a little more tech savvy because me personally, I don't do anything tech savvy around my niece because she embarrasses me.
And that's a good example because we do have people who live out on top of the world who their children or grandchildren want to give them something like a Facebook portal or an iPad or a laptop, and they have no idea how to use it.
I don't do the face chat. I don't do the Instabox. You know?
Well, we do have classes to help cover that. So for people who are novices to a computer or a phone, Android, Apple, it doesn't matter. We do have classes for brand new people touching new technology to them. So you can come in and you can actually sit one-on-one with one of our instructors and learn everything that you need to know about the item in your hand. So you feel a little more confident and comfortable, but that also gives you the ability to relate with relatives who may not even be in the same state as you.
They used to have classes, and maybe you still do, where they would teach you how to set up a profile for Facebook.
Mm-hmm. We do.
Hopefully not Twitter. I'm not a Twitter person, but Instagram, as you were mentioning, that's big among the younger generation.
Yes.
So they, teaching people how to do that.
You know, people say Facebook has replaced the photo album. Because remember when we were kids, you'd go to your grandma's house, and if she wanted to embarrass you with your new girlfriend, or if my sister brought her new boyfriend over, Grandma would always go and get the photo albums. Look at Tommy when he was 9 years old. Now, grandparents are learning how to use Facebook, and that's becoming where let me show you what my grandson did on Facebook. And they're able to brag and show it to people here that their grandson may have hit a home run in Little League Baseball in Arizona.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's a big deal to people.
Very big deal.
And they get to pay attention to what's going on. But
right.
So a lot of what Michelle does, though, is providing those educational opportunities. I mean, everything from the Civil War. I think you've got some great classes coming up. And this year's got a big anniversary, the 80th anniversary of
Pearl Harbor.
It is.
So big class on that, coming up, section on that.
We do, and we also like to keep education at the forefront. So we have continual classes on things like 9/11. Things that are dear and near to our hearts, we want to continually educate. So we make sure we have classes ongoing for topics of that nature. And then we also have classes like law. We have a really good attorney who's one of our instructors, and he touches on things that are significant for people who might even be brand new to the state of Florida. Like, that changes when you move from state to state. So you need to learn about Florida.
And I would think that would be a great class for a lot of the people that are out on top of the world, because of understanding how it works, and also you have a better set of tools in your toolbox not to get taken advantage of by people when they come with, when they show up at your door with legal documents or fake legal documents. Because I know that scammers will do stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And to be able to recognize that's not no, I took a class and I know that's not how this is.
He actually has a class on scams and frauds, but you don't have to be a resident on top of the world. You could be a new person that just moved to Florida.
Wait a minute, hold on. So you're talking about the 80th anniversary of Pearl Harbor.
80th anniversary.
I could make everybody under the age of 30 have to go to this class.
You sure can. We are open to the public. Anyone 18 or older,
okay.
Absolutely.
I just have made a decree. Every person in Marion County under the age of 30, you must, and I'll get the county commission to do a proclamation or something, you must attend and learn what Pearl Harbor was so that you understand what freedom is and how it's not free.
Well, that class is December 7th and 8th. It is a 2-day class, and we're showing a significant documentary. So there are going to be interviews of people who were actually there, telling you what happened from their perspective.
Is it the Ken Burns documentary on World War II? Do you know?
No, it's not Ken Burns. Okay. Right. No, but I'm going to send everybody there, and then they can learn about it.
So you can right. It will not be, and
No.
and you can go to the web. What website can they go to find out about that class?
masterthepossibilities.org.
masterthepossibility.org. How much is the charge for these classes?
Well, it depends. This class is free.
Stop.
It's free.
Okay, Master, let me get my phone out. Y'all go ahead and talk amongst yourself. I'm going to sign up for the class.
The majority of our classes are $10 or less.
Wow, that's very affordable.
Very affordable.
And who's teaching these classes? I know we have some residents that'll teach it, and usually some of them have PhDs or professors.
We have,
who else is teaching these?
We have instructors who went to Harvard. I mean, it just depends on the expertise and the type of class. Some of them have been doing something like stained glass. We have a stained glass instructor who's been doing stained glass all of her life. So she's the expert in the area, and we have her teach stained glass for us. We have an instructor who taught at Harvard who does our Latin classes. He also talks about Julius Caesar and things of that nature. For this type of class that we're talking about with Pearl Harbor, it's more of a community discussion type of a class.
Right.
So we have one contact representative who sort of mediates the class, but we want that open group discussion after viewing the documentary. So that one's more of, let's get everybody in the classroom, everybody view this, and let's talk about experiences.
When you talk about, is there classes maybe that, because as people change and as they move from state to state, people that come from Georgia, say, they know every year they got to fill out state taxes. Well, in Florida, you don't have to fill out state taxes. So are there classes to explain some of the differences in taxes, tax law and all in the state, stuff like that, so people know that they're doing the right thing and stuff like that?
We have Jerry Cullen that helps us with a lot of law classes. And yes, that's why I was saying earlier, you do not have to be a member or a resident at On Top of the World to take advantage of his classes. And he talks a different topic every month. Let's see, I have it written down here. He does Florida homesteading.
Which is a big deal.
Wills and trusts. Not many people realize that when you move from state to state, you need to look at that document to change it. Estate planning. And he does a really neat class that I like, and he just calls it Ask the Attorney.
You got a question, you ask him, he answers.
You got a question, you ask him, and he answers. And the class is $8.
$8 to get.
$8.
So basically, $8 to get legal advice.
$8 to get legal advice.
I don't think he's not getting paid for it. That's just
he's
helps
not getting paid for it.
No,
what our cost
but
is
you
to
can.
run the program.
Yes.
But somebody can pay $8 and talk to an actual lawyer
Yes.
and ask them questions, legal questions, and get answers for $8. You're not doing that. You're not picking up 1-800-ASK-LAWYER and getting that for $8.
No, and again, it could be any adult in the state of Florida, technically.
Now, do you do things do you do arts and crafts stuff classes as well?
Oh, absolutely.
Pottery, painting, stuff like that?
Absolutely. We have studios very specific to a few of those topics. We have a pottery lab and a stained glass lab and a drawing/painting lab. So, yes. And we'd love to give anybody a tour of our facility if they're interested in art, just to see what our facility looks like before they'd like to register. And they can even have the opportunity or chance to meet the instructor.
Now, has anybody, or do you do this? People come up and suggest, hey, maybe you ought to look into teaching a class like this. Does that happen quite a bit?
I do it all the time.
All the time. All the time. And we actually like that.
I
Because
send her
we do.
one saying, why aren't you teaching a class on how to fish or what to fish or where to fish? And
Because fishing's boring, Robert.
Well,
That's why. That's why.
it can be boring, but that's why you want a class to tell you how to do it properly so you can catch fish.
You know what? You know why I say it's boring?
Why is that?
Because every time I go fishing, I'm the moron that can't reel the reel in without getting knotted up and everything. And so if I can't do it, it's useless. It must be boring.
Oh, I don't know. I think
No, it's
it'd be
really a great
helpful.
sport. I got friends that love it. I just can't do it well. So in my mind, it's boring because I can't do it real well.
Understood.
If I had a class, maybe. If I had a class on how to reel in a Zebco 202 reel, maybe
Man,
maybe
you're
that could help me.
specific. But yeah, I think it would be really neat to have a class, especially with like the differences between saltwater and freshwater fishing. Do you know the differences? The different types of bait you should use, the different types of reels.
One's in the ocean, one's on freshwater.
See, that
That's
would be
my
a great
knowledge.
class.
It's my knowledge. One, you take a charter boat out in the ocean. The other one, you get somebody that knows where the honey holes are in the lake. It's my knowledge.
He needs to take the class.
Yeah. Are you going to do
We've
that?
got to find the instructor.
That's right.
Absolutely.
So, but that was your comment was, can people just come
Yes.
forward
Right.
and suggest it? And yes, because I know I do it all the time, and I know other people do.
Now I know.
There are people who actually come to her and say, "Hey, I'd like to teach this class."
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Here's an idea for a class, and you may have it already.
And we poll the audience. So another really neat thing I think that we have at MTP is once we've received information from a person who would like to teach, there's certain criteria that we have to make sure that they meet. But then we poll the audience. We ask the community, would you like a course of this nature?
You got a class on how to play poker?
That's a
We
great
don't
idea.
have a class on poker, but we do have a class on bridge or samba.
Poker's a good idea.
I think even just had a
I know.
gamble.
I know a guy that played it professionally for 11 years. It'd be a pretty good instructor.
Well, have them contact MTP.
I know a guy.
Okay.
No, but it's those kind of things.
It is.
That,
Yes.
that and you ask the clientele, what do you think
Yes.
you would like to have a class in?
Yes.
Which is unique. It's
Frankly, I think that's a great idea for a class. So.
with all the poker rooms that are popping up and
Yeah.
people that have extra time on their hands.
And a lot of our residents, people all over, but go down to Hard Rock and they're
100%.
expanding their gambling offerings. Plus, it's a great way to socialize, and there's a lot of poker clubs that are local, so people do that. So
Yeah.
it is a good idea. For somebody.
fishing and poker.
And
Or
that's one of the great things about Master the Possibilities.
Right.
Is that there's so many new things that are coming up. That's what Master the Possibilities is we offer that opportunity. Michelle really puts it all together to learn.
I just think it's great that you offer all these courses. And the thing is, you made a very good point, is the reason some of this is important is because we have a very transient population. Our population, for the most part, very seldom can you find a true Floridian anymore. Most people are transplants. And what might be the case in New Jersey or Illinois or Michigan or Arizona might not be the case in Florida, and y'all have classes to explain that.
We do.
Do you delve into Florida history much in your classes?
Oh, Florida history is one of our most popular topics. Absolutely.
The Timucuan Indians, the Seminoles,
Cherokee.
Miccosukee.
We have all kinds of history. As a matter of fact, I think there's more than 45 opportunities coming up. So
Is history or history-based classes one of your more popular type classes?
which types of classes?
History-based classes.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. They love history classes. Anything. I think we have 5 different subcategories. So we have American history. Then we have one called Fun Facts about history. Then we have world history, influential people, and influential groups. So it just depends on the type of history that you're looking for. So we've broken it down to make it even more focused for you so you can choose the type of history that you're interested in. And some of our history classes, we actually add a tangible event to them. And what I mean by that is you will come sit in a classroom for about an hour, hour and a half to learn about the topic. And then if it's here locally, we'll take you to a landmark or a location so you can further experience that along with the instructor.
Yeah, one of the most useful areas we have that is untapped because the school board, well, we won't get into why the school board, but they just don't, is the Florida Cracker Village at Silver Spring State Park, which is an amazing area that's open 2 weeks a year. Don't get me started on that. But those are the kind of things that I think would be great for people to see what an actual Florida Cracker Village looked like from the turn of the century, from the 19th century to the 20th century.
And what Michelle was saying is that she may do something like that, but first they might have a speaker come,
Right.
Right.
do a lecture on it, and then you would go down
you go to it.
Right.
to the Cracker Village.
Which would you then you could visualize what the instructor, what the speaker had told you about the individual places.
See it, touch it, hear it, and smell it.
Do you
Absolutely.
have you ever taught any classes on our springs?
Our springs, it's interesting that you said that because, believe it or not, we are already working on January through June of 22 for our curriculum, and we have 7 speakers on that topic.
On the springs.
On the
That's a
springs.
great. Now, here's the thick $64,000 question. Have you had an instructor named Robert come in and tell you how great Shalom Park is?
Yes.
And do
Yes.
do a class on Shalom Park.
We even have a part 2 coming up that's brand new, all about Shalom Park.
I've done about 25 or 30 of those classes.
'Cause
where
I know
take
who
people
the-
on a tour of Shalom Park. We go through the history.
He's the
and
leading authority on Shalom Park.
He
Sitting right
is.
next to you.
That's right.
I don't know. Brian's becoming a close second.
Brian is really good. Yeah, he is. He definitely is. And he does it. And Brian is with me. Brian's our park manager, and he does the tour where he'll do the horticultural aspects of it, and we'll talk about the plants and what's there and why we do it. And then I do the history and the purpose of it. And it's a great tour.
So this sounds like there's a myriad of possibilities. That's why it's called Master the Possibilities.
That's correct.
And it's ever changing.
Every day.
What happened what's scheduled for this next 6 months, it'll be completely different January through June of 2022.
That's correct.
Where do you go? I see you got a great little magazine that's got all the classes. Where can somebody go find the list of classes that are available?
MasterThePossibilities.org. We even have our catalog as a PDF on our website.
So you can go and wait, for you people who are scared of technology, all a PDF means is it's just a document that you can open and read, just like it was the magazine in your
Yes.
hand.
Right. And
Yes.
you can register for classes
Right.
through that as well.
A PDF's not anything scary. My favorite commercial now is the insurance commercials where the people are taking classes because they're getting like their parents. Because
Yes.
when they buy a home, they get like their parents. And then somebody goes, "Who wants to open a PDF?" And everybody goes, "Ooh."
Well, we have a class for that.
Yeah.
That's a good commercial.
PDFs are not scary.
No, not
Do
at
you
all.
have classes that help people, that may want to understand how to do Word better, how to do Excel better, stuff like that, the Microsoft Windows stuff better?
We do. We have all of that. And as Calessa becomes even larger, we will be focusing on corporate training classes as well. So for the working class, they can come take an evening class to hone their skills more. Excel is a very important one for that. Not many people know about pivot tables and formulas, and so we help them with that.
Yeah, I was a poker player professionally for 12 years.
Were you really?
Spreadsheets are my friend.
Can you
Spreadsheets
teach
are your
poker?
friend.
I can teach. I can teach you to play poker in 5 minutes. It takes a lifetime to master it.
Yeah.
It's one of those games like chess. You can learn the moves, but are you really good at it? And so it's a great game. Poker's a great game. It's a game of skill, not a game of gambling.
Yeah.
I want to clear that up. It's a game of skill. It's a game of probabilities. It's math. It's a math question. STEM could help in poker.
STEM could help with that, yes.
STEM can help with poker. Now, when do these classes? Are these classes later in the evening, or in the daytime? Are they both? When are these classes? What are the schedule for these classes?
They're mainly daytime right now, so your last class might end about 5:30 or 6 p.m. depending on the topic. The first class of the day usually starts about 8:30. We do have classes Monday through Saturday.
And typically, when you say a class, how long does this class? I mean, is it a 2-week event? Is it a 2-month event? Is it a 2-day event? Typically, or is it a 1-day event? How long do these typically last?
It depends on the topic. For history, they might be 1 or 2 days. For something like stained glass or pottery, you could be going 8 to 10 days. It just depends on the topic that you choose. But the average class with us is about 1 to 2 days.
And is there a chance, like if you went to class 1 in stained glass, so you wanted to go to the second class, but it's on a Tuesday and you can't make a Tuesday, is it also on a Thursday or a Saturday, something like that?
We do vary our schedule, yes, so we can make it convenient for the student.
So there's ample opportunity for people.
Ample opportunity.
If they're interested. And it's one of those, if you make it, you make it. But if you don't make it, I think you could probably frown on that because it takes up a seat
It does.
that you would like to have filled.
It does. That is true.
So if you make the commitment,
You
make the
commitment. Yes. And another thing that Master the Possibilities does is we really want to become involved with the community. Education is our theme. So we do have a special event coming up in June, if I can talk about it for just a moment. We have Juneteenth. I'll let people look up what Juneteenth means, but it is, it is a focus on Black history. And so for the week of June 22nd through June 25th, the whole week, we have an exhibit in our Live Oak and Cypress halls. It takes up both rooms. It'll be about 55 to 60 tables worth of artifacts. As a matter of fact, there are more than 2,000 artifacts that will be on display this week, and it spans more than 150 years of Black history, everything from the slave trade and the Civil War all the way to President Barack Obama. It is free and open to the public. It's 9 to 5, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, and it's 9 to 7:30 on Thursday.
What day is that? June 22nd?
June 22nd through the 25th. Free, open to the public, no registration required. You can just show up at Live Oak or Cypress. I will give you the address now, but you do not have to remember that. It is on our website. The address for Live Oak and Cypress is 8413 Southwest 80th Street in Ocala, right at On Top of the World. It's right next door to the Cultural Center.
I know where the Cultural Center is because you're doing great things at the Cultural Center. You just had a sold-out concert last weekend where tribute band for Boston and Styx. Not that I was there and know that because I was there. But I really like that you're rocking the world. And that's something that's going to continue through, is it August, Robert, that continues at the Cultural Center? I think it is. I think it's August.
I'll bring Gary back on.
I think there's so much going on. Look, nobody faults you, Robert. There's so much going on that you don't know all of it.
No.
Just Shalom Park. Just keep with that and bring the experts in to talk about everything else.
Yep.
Once again, if people want to find out more information about how they can get involved in these classes, either as an instructor or as a student, where can they go and how do they do it?
It's masterthepossibilities.org. Everything is there.
Everything.
Everything is there. How to become an instructor, how to volunteer, how to become a community partner, how to become a community partner, or how to register as a student. Everything is there.
And history is a lot of what they do. They do they have possibilities that are endless, but they do a lot of history classes too, which I'm going to have to, I got a master's degree in history. I need to come check out some of these classes.
You might want to come teach one.
Colonial period. I have my colonial period. But my thesis was on Darby Lumber Company versus U.S., which was the court case that the Supreme Court said that minimum wage was constitutional. Happened in Statesboro, Georgia, where I'm from. It happened. Darby Lumber Company was in Statesboro. So I got to actually interview people that were still alive. I didn't have to go sit in a musty library and dig through books. I actually talked to people that were still living. So it was very, very cool. That's why history's great. If you can experience history instead of just get lectured on history, it makes it that much better.
Yeah, I know we're ending up, but I was talking to my son this morning about it because he said, well, math is the most important class. I said, well, math is important, English is important because writing, but history tells us the meaning for why we're doing everything we do.
100%.
That's right.
If we don't know where we came from and learn from what we did, we'll just keep doing it over and over. And remember, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. So, Robert Colin from On Top of the World and Michelle Scheidler. Did I say that right?
You said it right.
She's the director of ed for Master to Possibilities. mastertopossibilities.org.
.org.
For all the information you need. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks, Tom.
We'll be right back at this time out. 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Ocala International Airport. This is WOCA AM, W242CA FM, Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
The Senate confirmed Kristen Clark to head the Justice Department Civil Rights Division. Clark was confirmed with a close 51-48 vote Tuesday afternoon. Senator John Kennedy, the Republican from Louisiana, did not vote, and Susan Collins, the Republican from Maine, was the only GOP vote. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell said Clark was unfit for the Justice Department due to her past political comments. Steve Bannon, former aide to President Trump, on Tuesday won dismissal of an indictment that accused him of defrauding donors to a fund to build the U.S.-Mexico border wall. The wall remains unfinished. Over 1,100 pounds of methamphetamine concealed in a watermelon shipment were seized by U.S. Customs and Border Protection officers in California last week. The bust was made last Tuesday at the Otay Mesa port of entry after authorities stopped an unnamed 47-year-old Mexican national driving a truck with a trailer. Otay Mesa is 8 miles east of Tijuana, Mexico. USA Radio News.
Okay, we are running a car drive right now to help veterans all across America. So if you have an old car, truck, or van, even a motorcycle or an RV sitting around, you can right now give it away and help the vets. They really need your help. And your car will help support the vets and their families. And guess what? You even get a tax donation. Plus, we'll even come and pick up your car for free. And all you've got to do is pick up your phone right now and make a free call. Now is the perfect time to do something good for the vets. Give back to the vets right now for all they've done for this country. And your old car can really help them. So call the Veterans Car Donation Program right now for free pickup of your vehicle. Help the vets and help your taxes at the same time. Call right now.
800-882-2093. 800-882-2093. 800-882-2093. That's 800-882-2093.
The news, appointment TV, and endless scrolling on your phones, we're looking at screens more than ever. But how do you rest your eyes without feeling totally unplugged?
Attention passengers for Flight 1370. The plane has been delayed at its departure point and will be at least 2 hours late. We apologize for any inconvenience.
Are you serious? It took us over an hour to get here, 2 hours going through security and getting our tickets, and now we have to wait another 2 hours.
Yeah, it's beautiful here, but we're inside this overcrowded airport all day because the plane is stuck in bad weather.
This is the last time we ever do this. When we get back, we're going to Ocala Aviation and getting our pilot's license.
Yeah, we've been talking about that long enough. It's about time we did it. Then we could just fly ourselves and never have to deal with this mess again.
Right. No long lines, no full body groping security, no baggage checks.
Not to mention never losing your luggage. Remind me again why we haven't done that?
Well, we're idiots.
Oh, right.
Attention all passengers for Flight 1370. It looks like the plane is going to be delayed a little bit longer. The airline has lost the pilot's luggage. Isn't it time you got your pilot's license? Call Ocala Aviation today. 352